Got a dusting of snow in Montreal last night and into the morning, and so it was a brisk winter-like arrival to the Maurice Richard Arena, but fortunately we are indoors and don't have to worry about the external conditions on day one of the ISU Short Track World Championships 2026, our morning session, the Repechage session to get us all set up for the afternoon. Gavin Day alongside me, as always, Tyler Dara. Tyler, great racing yesterday. Absolutely great for a qualifying day, and that just sets us up for this morning.
It was an incredible day yesterday, Gavin. It was so fun to watch. You know, we were used to maybe starting a little bit slower off in the early rounds on the World Tour on the Thursday and the Friday, but we got right into the thick of it right away. You know, first race of the day, we already had William Danjanu on the line, so the big names were out from the start of the day right to the end, and the quality of racing was incredible. A little bit concerned coming off the Olympics, you know, how are the athletes going to be approaching this weekend, but as soon as they hit the ice, they're here to race.
And there is the schedule we have for you this morning. The Repechage session starts with the 1,500 meters for men. We also have the 1,000 meters for women, 500 meters for men, and then we wrap things up with the mixed team relay semifinals, and that all gets us set up for the afternoon, beginning with the men's 1,500. We have our track stewards out on the ice yesterday. Tyler, a little bit of figuring out that ice through the beginning of the morning, but they seem to have it sort of sorted out by the end.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of early struggles on the ice conditions. Skaters dealing with some ice chipping or breaking away. There was some concerns about some dirt on the ice, but it seemed that by the time we got to the afternoon and the later portions of the races, that the ice conditions have somewhat stabilized. Everybody kind of got familiar with how it was responding, and by the end of the day, it was pretty smooth sailing, a few little hiccups here and there, but you know, more typical racing than what we're used to.
We are inside just a couple minutes before the first heat of the men's 1,500. Real United Nations of flags out there in the crowd. Of course, a few Canadian ones, Ireland, Bosnia, Herzegovina. I see a Swiss flag out there. And so it's quiet for now, but this afternoon and this weekend in the medal sessions, we are told that it is sold out here at the Maurice Richard Arena. Packed to the doors, as they say, and so we will get set up for an incredible afternoon of action.
The men 1,500 meter will have 5 heats in this division, where first and second
just
place
checking to see
racing up to a maximum of 4.
where we are, just getting set up. The track stewards are about to lay the markers, and in all there will be, count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heats in the men's 1,500 meters. And if you're new to this, if the Olympics didn't have the repechage to worry about, and so if you got fascinated by the Olympics and are tuning in now, these repechages, there's a repechage quarterfinal in the 1,500 meters, a repechage semifinal, and 2 repechage semifinals, and then a couple skaters from that will move into this afternoon's semifinal for the medals, joining those who made it through the qualifiers yesterday. There's heat number 1, Ole Hyundai, Ward Petre, Song Grishu, Tobias Wolf, Sean McAnuff, Stefan Alexander Kumorjev, and Lucas McDonald. And so Ukraine, Belgium, China, Austria, Ireland, Bulgaria, and New Zealand. Top 2 from each race, and up to 4 fastest third place times will go through to the repechage semifinals.
Go to the start. Ready.
So 2 automatically through, and then maximum 4 of 5 third place times. And we always tend to judge whether skaters are going for that time based on the start. It's not the slowest start in the world, Tyler, but it's not one of the more brisk ones that we've seen.
Yeah, no, they got up the line reasonably well, but they've kind of settled in and relaxed a bit here. So 12-8 for these skaters, this is far slower than what they're capable of. If you want to see a faster pace in the 1500, it's probably going to be starting more towards that 10-second lap time. So a little bit off of, maybe a quicker pace start. Again, they're capable of going about some of the skaters sub 8 seconds on a lap time, just for a frame of reference.
Sean McAnuff of Ireland was on the front, but then Stefan Alexander Kumurjev wanted to take a pole, and now it is Ward Petre, often a guy we see deployed in the relays for Belgium. Keeping an eye out for the blue, yellow, and black of Ole Hyundai of Ukraine. One of those guys who likes to shake things up. Song Guishu, part of the new generation of Chinese men. They're sort of throwing in this weekend. The likes of Liu Xiaoling, Liu Xiaolin, Lin Xiaojun, Sun Long, the biggest names on the Chinese men's side are not here, so there's some guys getting some tastes of the top level. And still Petre on the front right now.
Well, Petre, of course, coming off that mixed relay bronze medal at the Olympic Games. Maybe that's giving him some confidence as we watch Ole Hyundai now working around the outside.
And it is Hyundai, one of the big animators on the circuit now. He is winding things up on the outside. It's a long time spent on the outside. He clips with Petre, who goes down, and that will be our first review of the day. And now
Wolf goes down, Song on the outside.
I think Wolf went down on his own, but Song Guishu goes through ahead of Hyundai. But that first incident will be reviewed, and so still some places on the line, and it is Song leading the way. And after Hyundai, it's a real battle for second. Here comes Kumurjev on the outside. He's got the beatings of McAnuff. Who wins the reach to the line? I think Kumurjev does. But it is Song and Hyundai with the yellow dot blinking in the corner of your screen. And we're looking at that, but it looks just like Hyundai got around, and before he was through, whether or not he was far enough through, that's when the clip happened.
This is very reminiscent to a pass we reviewed yesterday with Hannah de Smit and Nokola Mazur, as it was Ole Hyundai coming around the outside on the corner, but before he was clear and around of Ward Petre, he came back into the corner, getting tight at the apex. So we're going to be watching for potential lane change from outside to in here, making contact. So this is the review. Ole Hyundai on the outside, but as he comes through, he comes in a little early and makes that contact on Ward Petre. So they're going to be reviewing that, because it clearly impeded the race of Ward Petre, but was Ole Hyundai by? Wolf going down. Song lucky to stay clear of that. Sometimes you got to be worried when you're on the outside making an outside pass. If a skater on the inside of you goes down, well, you're in the crash zone. You're in the crash line, so to speak. So sometimes you can get taken out, but Song stays clear there as Wolf goes down on the exit.
So the incident has been cleared. Hyundai was far enough through that they said, thumbs up, no problem.
And what they're looking at here is shoulder positioning, right? Who has the lead to that race going into the corner?
So those results are official. So Song and Hyundai, actually still unconfirmed the results, but I think they will be made official in just a moment. Looking like Song and Hyundai will go through. Heat number 2 is already out on the ice. They are doing some repairs, of course, as the two incidents may have scratched things up a little bit. They will have a busy day, those track stewards. There we go, confirmed. Song and Hyundai through. Kumurjev at 2:24.028. We'll see how that time stands the test of time, but a couple more heats to go, so it's not a long wait. Heat number 2. Lu Zhanshuo of Hong Kong, China, Luka Jasic of Serbia, Jakub Karbin of Slovakia, Ivan Martinic of Croatia, Dietrich Miraklis of Switzerland, Maxime Laun of Canada, Furkan Akar of Turkey. So this heat, look at Laun, look at a guy like Akar as well. A lot of top end speed in this one. Guys may be more accustomed to a 500 meters, but that will shake things up in a big way in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. The skaters, they're a little bit more sprint oriented, are going to be wanting to have a little bit of a slower pace to this race. That would be their preference, where they can bring that speed at the end and make some big finishing passes. However, you know, some skaters may be enticed by that time advancement to push the pace early. So it'll be interesting to see those dynamics play out here.
Go to the start. Ready.
Again, we throw a guy like Luka Jasic in there as well, a guy who's been unafraid to mix things up.
He's been having a strong weekend. I'm also keeping an eye on Lujan Schwo. He likes to get to the front as well, so he's usually getting his hat in the rink. He's ranked 34th in this distance.
So quicker start here, sub 11 seconds. Here we go, first lap.
So as I was saying in the previous round, that's where I expect to see if they're going to go maybe for time. They got to get under that 11-second mark. They got to be in the 10s right away. Already down to 10-2. So Martinic looking maybe to push the time here, and he has that advancement consideration for that possible third-place finish.
The drawback, of course, of the quick start is that the legs are burning by the end, and so a lot of these guys perhaps happy to sit in the slipstream for as long as they can before the race really kicks off.
And for someone like Maxime Naoun and Furkan Akar, even these low 10s are still very easy for them. They could skate this all day long.
Is Martinic in the solid gold helmet, not literally, just talking about the paint tone there. Jasic, Lujan Schwo, Tyler mentioned him, he comes up into third on Varaklis. Varaklis tries to battle back, but he's got nowhere to go. And Martinic sort of bossed to the outside there. Now he has to sort of build it back. Keep watching Laoun and Akar. Thought he took a look to maybe build on the outside. Now they start to go.
That watch back Laoun there, now winding up on the outside. You see that explosive speed, that quick acceleration. Making easy work of these passes.
It is Lujan Schwo still on the front. Luka Jasic trying to hang in with Laoun and Akar, who just flank them both around the outside.
Well, it's a great
outside, one on the inside.
Great move from Akar there, spotting Maxime Laoun going on the outside. He jumping up the inside. Oh.
And it is Akar, Laoun, and Jean Schwo who's tagged along for the ride, but it is Akar who will take it ahead of Laoun, Lou, Jasic, and then Martinic and Varaklis crossing the line. Carabin to wrap things off. Just the veteran savvy of those two guys to bide their time and use their speed to their advantage when it mattered most.
And that was a much quicker race. So looking at the third place time of Lujan Schwo, 2:16.4. Again, we're always watching the advancements, but that one I think would stand. It's a strong time for one of these 1,500 meter repechage quarterfinals.
Yeah, just looking, even Carabin's time at 2:22.925 would have had him in third place in heat number 1. Yeah, Tyler mentioned quick heat.
So watching on the replay, here's that quick explosive speed from Max Laoun, making it look easy on the outside. But let's watch this inside pass here on the following corner. Right, oh, we're gonna miss it.
Lou, the third place time at 2:16.415. That is the faster of the two we've had so far by a fair margin. Here we go, Akar, Laoun, Lou, we'll see. Heat number 3 features Tariq Omaragic of Bosnia-Herzegovina, Peter Grossklos of the Philippines, Aibek Nasen and Nurtovet Kashgali of Kazakhstan, Frederick Pedersen of Norway, Ivan Donchev of Bulgaria, and Lucas Beckenhauser of Italy. It's always sort of a big wonder. These guys, you're not supposed to be here. But that's the joys of this race, is that sometimes guys have a bad day, and now they'll be up against a very seasoned competitor in this repechage.
Well, that's the great opportunity of the repechage, is that second chance, that second opportunity if something just doesn't quite go your way on the qualifying day.
Go to the start. ready.
Speckenhauser, the one to beat, ranked 13th in the world in this distance, a guy who we've seen in semifinals, A-finals. He's got Olympic medals now from relays, and so the prohibitive favorite. But watch and see how he takes this race.
Well, Repechage here, getting it going quickly. This is going to be a 10-second lap, 10:3 it looks like. Yeah, so off to a quick start. So this would challenge the time of the previous race if they can maintain. And talking about Lucas Speckenhauser and how will he race this race, Lucas Speckenhauser is probably bringing a long-term perspective on the day to this race. He wants to make it all the way to the A final. That's going to be a number of races, so he's going to have to manage that energy expenditure. We see him sitting in the back. He's making a move up to 6th position, but just doing so very easily, reserving that energy. He can't just be going hard round after round because he'll have nothing left by the time he gets to the afternoon. So he wants to qualify through with as limited energy expenditure as possible.
Is no, that's Kashgali going to the front. Assen trying to join him up the inside into the lead. A guy like Grossklos has some good top-end 500-meter speed, and so we'll see how he holds it, because Tyler mentioned this is a quick start, but all the while, Speckenhauser, both hands on the back, still looking like he's out for a Saturday morning skate.
Well, Nassen's really pushing the pace here. Down to 9.2 already. 5 laps to go, so this is going to be a quick one. We're going to start to see the pack thin out a little bit. I have a feeling the legs are starting to get a bit heavy for these guys.
Pedersen of Norway trying to mark Speckenhauser, essentially. He's saying he's the guy I want to follow to chase up the front, and now Speckenhauser around Grossklos into 3rd, but the Kazakh wall in the front there with Nassen and Kashgali on the inside.
Watching Speckenhauser, position 3, looking for the outside move, driving that right arm.
And that's the bell. Speckenhauser does finally get around everybody right when he needs to do it. 1 lap to go. Speckenhauser making it look smooth and comfortable, just picking them off one at a time and getting to the front. Kashgali 2nd, Nassen in 3rd with a 2:13.25 unofficially. So yeah, Tyler mentioned even quicker than heat number 2.
Yeah, that was a quick race. They're really pushing that one right from the start. Repechage getting those 10.3s going right away.
Kazakh skaters, one does get qualified and the other puts himself in great position to move on to those repechage semifinals. They come up pretty quickly. We lose the women's 1,000-meter repechage quarterfinals, and then the guys are back out. I think there's a flutter in between. I haven't paid attention to it today. Either way, I'll let you know.
Well, this was just a beautiful outside pass from Lucas Speckenhauser. When you're going on the outside, you've really got to shorten your pivot. You don't want to be dumping speed. When you're pivoting and you're seeing that long hold in the right, skaters are using that to turn tightly, but what happens is they dump a lot of speed on that. So you want to see them continue to keep their crossovers flowing and moving through the corner to maintain and continue to build and accelerate their pace on the exit.
There are the confirmed results. 2 more to go in the men's 1,500-meter repechage quarterfinals. This one features a heavy Dutch influence. Toon Boer, K. Hausman. Alongside them will be Nathan Thomas of Poland, Tibor Komoricki of Slovenia, Eklavia Jagal of India, and Radek Fajkus of Czechia. And just checking, yeah, we'll head right into the women's 1,000 meters before the men's repechage 1,500, and then we'll resurface, but they are doing some patch there. Some quick hold on things before we get back to it. And to the line we go.
Go to the start. Ready.
Toon member of the gold medal men's relay team on the Dutch side. And this is the counterpoint. This is not the quickest of starts, but just finishing my thought on Toon winning gold in the men's relay, but he is a bit under the weather here this weekend. He's just off on the side getting a, I'm not sure if it was a nasal spray to clear up the sinuses a little bit or what, but yeah, he's feeling it, but he's out here giving it a shot.
Yeah, it's never easy coming into a weekend feeling under the weather. Sometimes it works to your advantage, though, because it alleviates some of the pressure that you might put on yourself to perform when you know you're not feeling 100%. You kind of, you hate to say it, but it creates an excuse or an out for why maybe you don't have a bad race. So you kind of go into it with the mentality of, you know what, I'm just going to give it everything I got, and whatever happens, happens. And sometimes that just lets you free up a little bit more, and you actually perform quite well when you remove that pressure, despite being maybe not quite 100%.
Is Bohr at the front ahead of Nathan Thomas, Canadian-born skater representing Poland. Did see a few Polish fans here out here yesterday against Kay Huisman, who was not a member of that Dutch side, but Itzhak Delat not here at Worlds, and so Huisman is in. Huisman now, as if on cue, jumping around into the front, and it's suddenly very, very difficult for all the other skaters, the Dutch skaters 1 and 2.
Well, Toon Bohr and Kay Huisman are both also very tall, lengthy skaters, so not easily passed.
There's a lot of height in this field. Look at the back of Jagal, again, one of the tallest guys we've seen on the ice. Trying to wind it up on the inside. Not able to get around Feikus, but at the front still Huisman and Bohr. Now it's starting to pick up, but the slow start is tough to remake time after you've dropped a lot.
Toon Bohr winding it up, 2 crossovers in, building up that speed. Not looking to make any moves quite yet.
Last lap, Mike was trying to build up some speed on the outside, just doesn't have it there. Now it's really 4 guys left, but it will be the Dutch 1 and 2, Huisman and Bohr. Thomas will go up to third with a 2:23.73. That is quicker than heat number 1, and so all important, you have 1 heat behind you if you have that 3rd place time, and so barring any advancements from heat number 5, he could be in that position to move on to 3rd place in skater. We so often see it. It's not deliberate when they get 2 skaters at the front. They're not working together, but they're so innate having skated with each other, Tyler, so often that it just becomes so difficult for anyone else to try to pass them.
Yeah, and there's also, you know, another level of respect with your teammate and not wanting to take chances, especially in a round like this when you're 1 and 2 and you feel like you have a good control of the race. There's no need to take that risk, so they can kind of put up that defensive track pattern in position number 2 from Toon Bohr. And I did see him at a moment kind of drop back, create a gap, get 2 crossovers into accelerate, and I thought he might be leading that into a pass, but you could just see he just kind of tucked back in behind, didn't take any chances. And you know, the last thing you want in the locker room with your teammate that you're about to go race a relay with is to have some animosity between each other. So it tends to be make a little bit more kind, respectful racing and take fewer risks when it's your teammate ahead of you.
And they share locker rooms with other nations, and so it'd be awkward for everybody else too to see 2 teammates from another country going at each other.
But interestingly, that's not always the case for how every country approaches those races. You know, they're all racers. They all want to win at the end. So it changes once you get maybe to a final and there's a medal on the line. Then you're going to look for that opportunity.
Yeah, you had a look there. The world number 3 in the distance, Miyata Shogo, didn't have the qualifying he'd wanted in the 1500. So here he is, doing it the long way. There's Raphael Schlosserek of Germany, Lucas Wareham of Australia, Etienne Bastier of France, Miyata Shogo, as I mentioned, Ernest Čech of Lithuania, and Maris Sternmanis of Latvia. 6 skaters in this one.
to the start. Ready.
Lucas Wareham's parents walked by us a moment ago. Got to wave at them when they came in. Making a long way from Sydney. His dad's first time getting to watch his son compete internationally, and here he is moving around to the front, getting some TV time. Lucas Wareham, who trains out of Salt Lake City. Just the ice time is not really that possible in Australia.
You got to think that gives a little extra boost for Lucas as well, to knowing that his parents are in the crowd here and want to put on a little bit of a performance for them. Show him everything that he's worked so hard to do to get here.
Sternmanis on the front, but we are looking at the back. Mieta and Bastier, top-seeded skaters in this distance, looking like they are just biding their time. Like you mentioned, don't want to use any extra energy, just get through this. And it seems like they are playing the long game here.
Precisely that. Just like Lucas Beckenhausen, they're going to stay very calm, very relaxed, try to save their legs. They want to get through again with as little energy expended as required. But as we know in short track, it doesn't always work out for you that way, so you can't wait too long. But we all know that Mieta Shogo has the ability to make some big moves, and he has the speed. But Lucas Wareham gets bumped out there.
Not sure if he was quite around Sternmanis and just got bodied into the mats, it seems. And now Bastier going, okay, this is too much for me. I got to hit the front and try to drive away from guys.
Well, let's really keep an eye on Shogo here.
Jack almost takes it into the mats coming out of the corner. Stays up though, but that's going to cost us speed. Now look at Shogo just scything his way through all the way up to second and barely looking like he broke a sweat.
Well, this is exactly how Shogo wanted this race to play out. Now he can calmly skate in second. He's got a big gap between him and third.
And it is the two guys who we would have figured to be the top two when this all shakes out at the front. Bastier and Mieta now able to maybe ease off the pedal a little bit, but Mieta...
Shogo's going to go for it.
Is going to go for it. Winner's going to win, racer's going to race. Oh, and it's two spots. Both of those guys did the job they needed to do. And then, hey, look at that. Ernestas Cech got up for third from Latvia with a 2:22, which does put him ahead, I believe, of the first heat.
And the fourth heat.
And so, yeah, in the end, that incident has been cleared. Wareham wasn't all the way around and essentially took himself out of the running with the bump on here. It is not around.
Just some shoulder-to-shoulder racing.
And usually it's another Latvian, Roberts Krusbergs, people trying to go shoulder to shoulder with him. And oftentimes that's a bad decision because he's such a strong guy and guys lose those shoulder to shoulder battles. This time it's Sternmanis who goes shoulder to shoulder with Wareham, and unfortunate for the Australian.
And Roberts Krusberg's one of those skaters that's absent this weekend. There's, you know, most of the big names showed up, but he is one of the few that is not in attendance.
So Mieta wants the personal victory as well as qualifying, so he will move into the repechage semifinals, working the long game and getting back. But there's some good skaters who are going to miss out on that semifinal. In those repechage semifinals, it tends to be just the race winners moving on. And so those will be some fun races coming up as you see the results. We move right along to the women's 1,000-meter quarterfinals as you see those have qualified for the repechage semifinals. And coming up with the women's 1,000-meter repechage, 4 heats in all, top 2 from each race, and up to 2 fastest third-place skaters will qualify for the repechage semifinals. Heat number 1 features a couple of Belgian skaters, one from Czechia, one from Great Britain, and one from Slovakia. So there's Barbara Gakova of Czechia, Annabelle Green of Great Britain, Tineke Dandelgen, Mirta Mikkelsen of Belgium, as well as Leia Popovicova, the Olympian from Slovakia.
Les deux repêchages de quart de finale, les deux premières places de chacun des vagues se qualifieront pour les demi-finales et il devra repêcher un maximum de deux meilleurs temps.
Popovitseva, 18 years of age, getting to compete in her first Olympics. And if I'm not mistaken, this was her first full season on the senior circuit. We saw her on World Tour. And when you get those top 32 spots in the 500 or the 1,000 or the top 36 in the 1,500, that's a big accomplishment. And so she very well and truly earned that spot at the Olympics. I know Annabelle Green of Great Britain, she did get into the top 32, but then countries have their own internal qualification standards, not the sport body, but the overall Olympic committee, and they passed up that Olympic spot. But I will always say, when you earn an Olympic berth in short track, you're competitive. You are not there to make up the numbers. Here we go, Gakova, Green, Dendalk, Mikkelsen, and Popovitseva.
Go to the start. Ready.
So special announcement for race 81, heat 1 of the men 1,500 meter repechage quarterfinal. There will be an
and it is Gakova on the front of the Belgian duo.
From Belgium in race 81.
Just watching to see Green elite off the line in the 500 meters. Of course, that stunted a little bit in the 1,000 where they started less of a factor in the race, but now she's winding it up on the outside and not wanting to spend too much energy on the outside. Tucks in behind Gakova in second.
5 laps to go.
Remaining.
Czechia, who sets the pace. Annabelle Green from Great Britain right behind. Two skaters from Belgium.
Annabelle Green stepping out wide, accelerating into the turn, looking to set up an outside pass.
Number 104.
Is she going to make it around? There's a long way to go all the while. Dendalk up the inside. And now Green does make that move stick. It's a long time at the outside as Popovitseva, just hangs on. But that cost all her speed. She goes back to fifth. But it is Green and Dendalk right now. Remember, top two automatically move on. Gakova is fighting for every 100th of a second because that could make the difference. She stumbles coming out of that corner, but Green and Dendalk on course for the repechage semifinal. There they go. Gakova in third with a 138.16.
Well, when we watch the replay here, hopefully we get a good look at that pass from Annabelle Green. When you're setting up a pass, you have to make sure you create an opportunity to generate some speed and not run into the skater in front of you. So what I was watching for there is Annabelle Green setting up this outside pass. She shifts her track wider on the entry, so she has a little bit more ice to work with. She can get two crossovers in to accelerate her pace, as Gakova in front of her was only doing one crossover in, and then able to carry that momentum, that acceleration on the exit of the turn to go around the outside. Here's a look right there at the pass, and a good job not getting her hand in the way at all, but Tinnick and Dendalk noticing that. Gavakova moving out wide, jumping up the inside. It was Dendalk into second position.
So they do enough to move into the repechage semifinal. That will come up after our ice resurfacing break, but as I said, we still have 4 more heats to go in this one.
So the time from Gakova, 138.136. That will be a bubble time. I'm not sure that's going to be enough. My call will be I don't think it will be enough. Skaters are definitely capable of much quicker, so.
Those of you watching at home, Tyler is often pretty darn good with his predictions, and so I would take it until proven wrong, and then I will blame him for everything. Heat number 2, Hidai Ami, Diana Laura Vegi, Katarina Budic, Emilia Chua, and Petra Vankova.
Go to the start. Ready.
Kova, some bumps and bruises from the season. I'm sure she'll gratefully accept the offseason. She separated her shoulder. Separated or dislocated. Anyway, a shoulder injury at the Olympics. That's how her games came to an end. And then on practice day on Thursday, a hard tumble into the corner. She was down for a little bit, got some medical attention. There's a little cut on her nose that needed bandaged up, but she's had a few actually shoulder injuries. I think it was a dislocation or separation, confusing the two, before the European Championships last season. But tough as they come here. Right now it's Emilia Chua on the front, and Diana Vegi, Hungary, and then Budic, who was an Olympian for Croatia.
Well, this race was quite slow off the line. It was a slow first lap, but Emilia Chua responded to that and dropped the pace down right away, sub-11, trying to get the pace moving so that third place time is available.
Hidai Ami is the top-seeded skater in this race, but she is caught up behind some of the traffic that was in front of her. They were all kind of bundled up, but she had nowhere to go. But now she gets around Chuan, who's spending a lot of energy trying to close that gap. It's Vegi. It is Vankova and Budic, 1, 2, and 3 for the moment. Budic sizing up the moves. 1 to go. Vegi still leading the way. Here comes Budic trying to get around Vankova. It's going to be the drive to the line. Budic loses some grip there. And Vegi, good race win. And Vankova, 1 and 2. Thumbs up, indeed.
Well, a little surprised, Hidai Ami maybe being a little bit too patient, a little bit too calm in the back, getting caught off guard when the race really attacked, and she had too much of a gap to overcome, burned the legs out before she could catch up to make any moves happen at the end of the race. And, you know, surprising coming in as the top-ranked skater in 17th in the world ranking. Maybe sleeping at the wheel a little bit. She probably wants that race back.
But Vegi will certainly be happy with that one. She can say, hey, I put Hidai Ami behind me, and she never caught me. Vegi just turned 19 in December out of Debrecen in Hungary.
And she's coming in with no world rank, but I'm very familiar with the name,
Yeah,
so
he just hasn't done a lot of thousands.
Hasn't done a lot of thousands, I suppose.
Regular skater, I know, in relays as well. There is the results, good result. Vegi moving on as we move into heat number 3, and that will feature Malika Yermak of Kazakhstan, Hyojin Kim of Australia, Yelizaveta Sidorko of Ukraine, Paulina Klevstuen of Norway, and Nicole Law out of Hong Kong, China.
Go to the start. Ready.
Kim very nearly made it right through to the quarterfinals yesterday, just coming up short. This is her preferred event, and so she's really the one to watch in this one. But at the moment, it is Yelizaveta Sidorko.
Well, Sidorko's pushing the pace right away. Well, much quicker start than the previous races, dropping it down to 10-3 already, so this is going to be a faster heat.
It is Yermak at the front. A couple skaters had to ditch some speed, but a couple of them were going for the same spot of ice, and there's only so much room. Kim and Klevstuen building back up.
So one thing as a skater, you really have to try to have a good sense for the speed and the pace. A lot of skaters, if the race starts fast, they want to stick to a strategy. They want to pass at 4 to go or 7 to go, but the pace is really high. You got to identify that and know, okay, we're going really fast now, so people are burning the legs. They're probably going to slow down a little bit later, and then I'm going to have my chance to strike. You don't want to try to make big passes when the pace is really high.
Kim making contact with the front group and mostly keeping her hands on the back, now driving the arm a little bit, getting around Sidorko. It's a long way around. They both come through it okay. I'm not sure if that was just incidental contact. That will be reviewed, but Kim and Yermek leading the way right now as Sidorko lost a lot of speed, and we'll see what her time goes for third. As you mentioned, quick start. We shall see. Yermek with the victory, though.
Good showdown between
Well,
Malika Yermek and
Yelizaveta Sidorko there, I think, played that race really well. She was the one who took the initiative early to get that pace going and get it moving quickly and then hold on to the end. So despite finishing third, barring any penalties at this point, she will be in that qualification position and standing there with a good time to advance through.
And yeah, you mentioned this, the fastest heat we've had so far, 1:35.338. Put her faster than the other two, and Kim had work to do, getting caught up early and having to build back up, and then picking them off one at a time, and never looking too bothered, but this will be the incident right here.
It looks pretty clean to me. You can see Kim, you're trying to watch that hand. Sometimes you see that hand coming down, and when the skater's on the outside, it's very difficult for the refs to see if that hand made contact with somebody's knee or somebody's foot and impeded their race. But seeing it from that angle, I didn't see Kim's hand making contact with anybody's leg or disrupting their race.
And we're good. So yeah, everybody through. Sidorko might feel pretty comfortable. So often we see the arm block when it's around the front. That almost looked like she banged up in behind, which I do not think is a penalty. One more to go in the women's repechage quarterfinals. Very even race, a lot of in the similar rankings. There it is, Eva Grenouillou, Cameron Lute. Nice to see her back racing today. Anna Jansone, Betty Muska, and Rebecca Silice-Nemeth. Top-seeded skater Silice-Nemeth, number 30, and Cameron Lute down in 52. So not a huge gulf in this race.
And great to see Cameron Lute back out on the ice.
Go to the start. Ready.
And so Lute, you saw the bandage on her. She went down in an incident with Chloe Olivier yesterday. I initially thought she had just banged her chin on the ice, but Tyler, you spotted that there might have been a blade from there from Olivier that might have got up and cut her. But no soft tissue issues, nothing concussion related. It's just the external damage, but she is back out on the ice. She was back at the arena pretty quickly, so it's nice to see her fit and ready to go.
Yeah, great to see her back out here. It was a scary incident when it happened, but you know, it's a bit of a mental thing too. You know, the old adage of getting back on the horse, right? You don't want to. When you have an incident, just get if you're healthy and you can race, get back out there, get right into it again. Cameron Lute doing just that. Love to see that perseverance.
In the mixed relay where Olivier was clipped by one of the skaters on the inside of the track. She went down and Lute was essentially just a passenger. So the scariest moment we've had this weekend, but it's nice that the damage in the end was comparatively minimal.
Oh, no, there's a few moments yesterday that might have challenged that one with Furkanakar and
that's true. That was
yeah.
The sandwich collision. One went down and the other a lap later in the exact same spot. But yeah, we haven't seen him yet today. He was the one who was helped off the ice, but I'm thinking in the terms of, you know, there was a blade up in someone's face, not trying to diminish another injury. But anyway, all the while, Silice-Nemeth, the top-seeded skater in this distance, going away. Cameron Lute in second. Grenouillou trying to get up for third, and she will, but it'll be a time of 1:40.5 in third place there. That might be the one that gets left out, as all the other third place times have been in the 1:30s. But Lute right back to it.
Well,
in second place.
Great for Lute to get back out here today and get that qualification through in this race and get some confidence back in their skating and you know, feeling like she's ready to go following that crash yesterday.
It's already looking for the next 4 years. That USA program in particular, Kristen Santos Griswold is not here. There are certainly some potential opportunities to come next few years as teams start their own planning, building, all that stuff. Never too soon to start planning. So those results have been made official. So clean racing through the repechage quarterfinals. Nobody advanced. Silice Nemeth Luke going through, and as I mentioned, William Hughes time is the one that does not up. And so they will be back on the other side of the ice resurfacing break, going for those spots in the afternoon session. You see those are the skaters who are moving on. Now we shift back to the men's 1500 meter repechage semifinals. And a note from the earlier race, there was an incident earlier where Ward Petre went down. He has been advanced, and Tyler will explain that in just a moment, but you'll see the start list here. Lucas Beckenhauser, Lou Jean Chouot, Etienne Bastier, Ernest Daschek, Song Guishu, Ole Hyundai, and Kai Hausmann.
Go to the start. Ready.
And yeah, we were talking about that. There will be Ward Petre in the second repechage semifinal, adding to it.
So what we saw in that qualifying race was Ole Hyundai going around the outside of Ward Petre, making contact on Ward Petre, who became the victim of that incident and crashed out while in a lead position. They went back, they reviewed the call. They have the ability to do that and change their decision. So that's what's happened there. They gave it a second look. They said, you know what, we didn't get the call right the first time, and they advanced Ward Petre through.
So even if there's no penalty committed, you could be a victim of fortune, and that was the case for Petre, who was in an advancement position and will be in heat number 2. So there'll be 8 skaters on the line in the second heat.
So a real chess match here. This is all about the win. Only one skater going back through to the main event for the World Championship, so no pressure for time. It's been a slower pace, but we see a lot of jogging, a lot of movement for position here. You want to make sure you're positioned towards the front when the pace hits, and here comes Kai Hausmann on the outside.
There will be some very good skaters not moving on. Speckenhauser senses the man from the Netherlands coming, so he opts for the front. But you look at the likes of Jean Chouot, Lou, and Hyundai, and Bastier, and now Song. So there's going to be a lot of good skaters who do not get through. And
strong bump, Speckenhauser on that outside pass. Very similar to what we talked about before. That contact from the outside on the skater on the inside. Speckenhauser throwing up his hands in frustration, but that will get reviewed.
Now there always could be an advancement as well as the winner, and so there is always plan B if plan A falters. But right now it's Kai Hausmann, Song Guishu, Ole Hyundai. And watch out for Etienne Bastier out of Orléans, France. Now Hyundai goes.
Great defensive track pattern by Hausmann here. Very observant, deep track entries. Etienne Bastier, though, beautifully up the inside.
And Hyundai battling back into second. Hausmann more than happy to see everybody battling for the minor positions as he just sits in the front. 1 to go. All to play for here. Hausmann, a quick check on the shoulder. And Bastier on the inside of Hyundai. Everybody does get through the corner, albeit not completely intact, but Hausmann holds off the advancing horde.
Hausmann raced those last 3 laps just beautifully. He was incredibly aware. He was in full control, checking over the shoulder, seeing where the pressure's from. And what he's doing is a bit of a deep track entry. So on the entry, he'd swing a little bit wider so people would kind of clog up on the inside. Then he'd come back in through the turn. They would clog up. So that makes it very difficult for the following skaters to accelerate. But when you start skating that track pattern repeatedly, skaters become attuned to that. So then you see on the last lap, right after the bell, Ole Hyundai is predicting that same track pattern again by Hausmann, and he looks to jump up the inside, but then Hausmann feels it and he changes it up and he stays tight on that corner entry to give that defense. So here's a look at that pass by Song. There's the contact on the knee of Speckenhauser in position number 1.
That time, I'm not sure if the pass had been completed, but that is what they're looking at. They'll check to where he was when it happened. They get all the angles down below.
Well, it's another same situation like we mentioned before, the Ole Hyundai and Ward Petre. But let's watch the final laps here. Hausmann there, he stays wide. That's the deep track entry in the last turn. You can see all the skaters get clogged up behind him when he enters wide and then hooks tight.
Good win for Hausmann. think he is secure, but yes, it could be, yeah, and he loves it.
Very smart racing.
So they are looking, it could be a possible advancement for Speckenhauser. And the second incident is a possible lane change from outside to in on Ole Hyundai, but that would not affect advancements, I don't think. So, yeah, so he does get by, but does the graze happen on the way by?
You have to make sure when you're passing on the outside that you get by cleanly. And I don't want to make any early judgments, but in my opinion, Song did not accomplish that in making that contact. So I do think that the advancement is on the table for Speckenhauser to be put through. There's that lane change on Hyundai I think they're looking at here.
It wouldn't have affected the one position though.
No, there would not be an advancement on this. Incredible job from Etienne Bastier though to maintain his footing, because that could have been a scary crash.
We've seen all kinds of defiance of physics before. We saw yesterday Michał Niewinski doing a full 360 on the ice, stuck the landing, continued, finished second in his race and advanced.
And then Jens van der Wout on that incredible double inside pass. Again, he was almost completely level with the ice. I don't know how he made that move, but again, as you mentioned, Gavin, defying the laws of physics out here.
Someone showed us a picture, and I mean, there was a tiny bit of daylight between Van der Wout's hip, and
final
here we go.
decision. Penalty number 67, China. Penalty number 51, Ukraine. Advancement number 17, Italy. Advancement number 52, France.
Okay, so
well,
there
we stand
are two
corrected,
advances.
but you know, sorry, I got to clarify. They can still advance in the top two positions, despite it even being a 1+0 advancement. So we always got to get changed up for the repechage rounds. So this is the first incident. That's that contact lane change from outside to in on the corner from Song.
Slightest of touch, that's all it takes.
Wait, but when all your weight is on that one leg, it doesn't take much to knock you over. So here's that lane change. You can see how dramatically Ole Hyundai shifts. There's that double pump to squeeze out Etienne Bastier, but Bastier at that point was in second position.
And of course, the argument is that it affected the outcome of the race, so it sort of disrupted his last push to get past Houseman. So there are going to be some very full start lines this afternoon in the men's 1500 meters as Houseman, Bastier, and Speckenhauser all going through, and there's still one more to go. And again, some very good skaters will not be making it through to this afternoon's action. Two skaters from Kazakhstan again, Kajgali and Nasant for Konakar, Maxime Laoun, Miata Shogo Tunbor, Nathan Thomas, Ward Petre. 8 skaters in all here.
Go to the start. Position number 8, move over. Back off the line. Go to the start. Ready.
And it is Laoun who wants to take control of this one. A guy, we've talked about his speed, and when they're standing up like that, it is not the swiftest of starts, but time doesn't matter in this race.
So again, very similar chess match playing out. Times are not on the table here. It's all about the win. You don't want to expend your legs too early, but you do want to be positioned towards the front, and that's for a number of reasons. Previously, I talked about the advantage of when the pace picks up, you have fewer people that have to pass, but as we saw in the previous race, if you're in a qualifying position and someone contacts you while you're passing, then you're in an advancement position, so that also can cater to your favor.
It is Petre who's gotten that second chance from his advancement in the quarterfinal. I keep my eye out for the rising sun sitting in 6th right now with Miata Shogo, but the time will come where he has to start making his way through, and there are a lot of fast skaters in front of him.
Well, Tunbor winding it up, Nathan Thomas following suit here. The pack's gonna hear it though. Are we gonna see someone respond? Maxime Lahoun, he checks over his shoulder, shifts wide for a deep track. Thomas now putting the pedal to the metal on the outside.
Shogo jumping up a couple of spots on the inside. Thomas to the front. And now he's really picking up the pace, but Toonbour has that inside line and jumps in front.
Well, Nathan Thomas had to put in a massive effort there. That'll put a little work in the legs.
Getting a little bumpier as we go. Everybody's still on their skates now. It's Toonbour, Furkan a car. Ibeck, Nassen, 1, 2, 3. Now it's Nassen making the move for second.
Well, Toonbour now is going to look to do exactly what his teammate Hausman did in the previous semifinal here. Maxime Lahoun now charging on the outside.
Inside, 3 to go. Time is running out. Miata, now he drives, and he is almost at top speed, but there are 5 guys in front of him. 3 at the front going into the corner together.
Maxime Lahoun completes the pass, but there's a catch up. 4 skaters down. Oh my goodness.
4 guys down together.
Shogo though still down. The other guys getting up. They're okay.
I think Miata got the worst of it.
He's giving a nod.
Oh, but that one hurts. He was just driving it up. He was coming, but everybody else had the same idea in mind, trying to get to that front. And then once the first skater went down, there are 3 passengers there. And Miata, I'm hoping it's just being winded because he was crunched into the mats.
Yeah, he's giving a nod, but I think he is winded. He was the first skater into the boards, and then Toonbour came into him and just probably winded him there. Scary situation.
Lahoun did take the race ahead of Petre in second, and Miata is up on his own. Nice to see. He's not getting any support, but he's just trying to catch his breath because that was a heart in the throat moment.
Well, getting to this race replay here, that was Nathan Thomas putting in a big effort on the outside partway through the race. But the big attack, the big move came from Max Lahoun. It was an incredible, he had 3 laps to go there, charging on the outside. He didn't relinquish that pass. Finally getting clear here, but that was the slip from Nassen, which led to everybody getting entangled. Dakar and Bohr, Gali Akhmatov, Shogo there going in first, but oh my goodness.
Miata just kind of almost on his head, and then he gets 1, and then he gets 2 skaters piling into him.
Scary moments there, but you know, Max completed that pass before that incident occurring, and that was just a beautiful outside maneuver.
So they are looking at it as a possible incident. You mentioned it was Ibeck Nassen who went down first. They're looking at that coming together between Nassen and Toonbour, but I mean,
well, just trying to see what sent Nassen off. I don't know if he just caught an edge. It was an unusual bit of a fall at that point of the straightaway. I don't know if there was a blade click.
And so, I mean, again, based on the last heat, that always opens the question. There are a couple of guys going for it, and well, I mean, they weren't terribly close, but no, I always think, never know, prepare for possible advancements.
So let's watch Nassen here, second position. So as he gets a contact from behind, perhaps from Toonbour, and that's what sets him off balance.
Now but they are saying a possible lane change. That would have been Nassen going in front of Bohr to kind of kick it off. And so right there, did he skate right into Bohr?
Yeah, we need to get a little bit of an earlier look on that same shot. The feet are just completely entangled there.
I look at a car who very nearly got through, but did have a hand on his skate, but he was right there, top 2 as well.
Watching it here, is Nassen, it's so hard to read from this angle. You do have a natural movement when you're pushing off the right foot to the left foot. Normally we see it when it's like a double right pump where you shift that extra bit over to defend that lane.
So over the line was Maxime Lahoun, Ward Petre, and Nathan Thomas, but another one of those moments where I am glad that we are not down there. Because this you can look at it, you know, 6 ways from Sunday and come up with different spots depending on who sees what. We are all human after all, and someone might say, hey, look at that. And they are talking with the review room. Looks like they're in agreement of something. I said yes, and I see a nodding. So But this one's tough. This one's very, very tough. It's not a cut and dry situation.
Because Tim Boer's also shifting over on Furkan Akar. It's so hard to see what triggers that first slip. Oh man, this is the scariest moment right there. That.
Yeah, helpless there, just gets the double wham into the mats. But
Yeah,
again, showing the benefits of those that give on the mats. There's no hard boards behind them.
There's the angle. Right there. Just the left foot catches Nassen catches the right foot of Tim Boer, and that trips him up. And the dominoes continue.
I mean, Akar had his race disrupted in second place, and you just look at it. He almost got that boot through, but just got a hand on it and throws him off.
I think it's a racing incident.
And yeah, in the end, that's all that it is. Maxime Lahoun is the one qualifying, and it's just, at the end, we can break it down to a lot of guys on the ice and only so much ice to fill up. So Lahoun will go through, and they will go to the semifinals this afternoon. That takes us to our first ice resurfacing break. As you see, 4 guys moving into the semifinals. That will be part of the medal rounds. And racing will resume in about 11 minutes. So enough time to get yourself set up for the next block of racing. That's men's 500-meter repechage quarterfinals, women's 1,000-meter repechage semis, as we move on the ISU Short Track World Championships. Stay with us.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous n'avez pas vos billets pour la compétition de l'après-midi, on vous demande de quitter l'aréna Maurice Richard immédiatement. Donc la séance gratuite est maintenant terminée. Et même pour ceux qui ont des billets, on vous demandera de ressortir pour faire valider vos billets. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the stands right now as a spectator, the free session is now over. We ask you to leave the Maurice Richard Arena, and if you already have your ticket for this afternoon's competition, you need still to exit the Maurice Richard Arena for a few minutes, and then we will be scanning your ticket for the main competition. So again, we're asking all the spectators to please leave the Maurice Richard Arena immediately. Encore une fois, on vous demande de quitter l'aréna Maurice Richard. Et pour ceux qui ont des billets pour la session principale, eh bien, on vous laissera réentrer quelques secondes après. Merci beaucoup.
a few seconds with the first of 8 heats in the men's 500-meter repechage quarterfinals. We will have 5 skaters on track for
Men's 500-meter repechage quarterfinals coming up. 8 heats in all. Top skater from each race and up to 2 fastest second place skaters qualified for the repechage semifinals. Tyler, very small.
Yeah, very small indeed. It's all about the win here, but it's great to see Miyata Shogo back out on the ice. This is a really quick turnaround for him, especially after suffering in that crash.
He is out on the ice. What was I saying? Tough as nails, these skaters. Miyata Shogo, Rafael Schlosser, Dietrich Veraklis, Ivan Martinic, and Peter Grosskloos. Grosskloos, a quick starter, but in position 5.
Ready.
And it is Miyata showing no ill effects from his crash and just deciding this time, I'm going away, I don't want anybody around me.
Well, looking completely unaffected by that fall earlier. He's flying out there.
Martinic, Schlosserek, Veraklis, Grosskloos jumping ahead of him. Grosskloos is a quick 500-meter skater, but yeah, that position of 5, he had a lot of work to do, but it is Miyata well and away, taking no prisoners in this one. Martinic just trying to keep him in sight, but Miyata looks fine to me.
Well, what was great from Miyata there was to win that start and get some clearance from the rest of the pack. And then once he was broken away, he could move just to a nice, relaxed speed track. So wide entries, wide exit, you can carry the speed very easily that way. And you also don't burn the legs out quite as much, making those hard pivots or trying to set up passes, which kind of cause you to slow down. So when skaters are trying to jockey for position, it's not the fastest track they can skate. So if you can get clear from the field and skate freely, you can really open up a lead, and Shogo doing just that.
Free to fly. Results are quickly made official. No incidents to review this time. Drama-free. Miyata, I'm sure, liked it. Even Martinic will see a 42.720 holds up, but only up to 2 fastest skaters.
Do we want predictions?
If you're willing to offer, I will never pressure you, but feel free.
I'm sorry to say, I don't think that time will stand up at a 42.7. We know these skaters are capable of, you know, in this group, getting into those 40-second 500-meter times. It's probably going to take a low 41 if I had to give it a guess.
Heat number 2, Theo Collins, Frederick Pedersen, Jakob Karabin, Lee Kun, and Eklavia Jagal.
Go to the start. Ready.
Something always so interesting about those clicks of the blades, that it's just a unique sound. Anyway, it's Frederick Pedersen off and away. Lee in second. Had a taste of the senior level on World Tour in 2025 in Tilburg, but now here he is at a first World Championships, and he jumps into the lead. Theo Collins trying to close it down. Pedersen just trying to keep him at bay, but it is Lee Kun with the gap, and Collins inching closer, closer, closer. 1 to go. There's the move on the inside. Collins for a second. He bumps with Pedersen. Pedersen goes out wide, and it will be Lee taking the race. Collins in second, Pedersen in third, and we will see what they decide from that. Are there ever times where maybe you're anticipating the contact and maybe hoping that it goes your way?
Well, you're bracing for it for sure. Pedersen trying to put the block up on Theo Collins, but Collins was carrying too much speed. You could see Pedersen kind of shift across, bit of an outside to in change, but somewhat penalizing himself after relinquishing and not holding it into the corner. Great start from Pedersen though. But a beautiful, beautiful pass setup. Lee Kun there just, well, we didn't get the replay on the pass, but here's that block. Pedersen shifting over, putting the hip out, but he takes the brunt of it.
And yet cleared, as you mentioned, Pedersen in the end kind of penalizing himself, so no call given. And so Done, done, done. Wiping the hands off in a fashion that indicates we are done with that race. I don't know how to describe that. You know, it's like when the cartoon, anyway.
Also like it when the officials see it the same way that I do. That makes it real easy.
Tyler is announcing a career change. He's stepping out onto the ice, and I am looking for a new person to join me.
Yeah. I'm too soft-hearted to make those calls.
Everybody gets advanced.
everybody goes through.
And then the time, it's like, instead of time, it just says fun. And then we can say everyone had fun. P number 3, Watanabe Keita, Ivan Donchev, Lucas Wareham, Tariq Omaragic, and Tibor Komarichki.
Go to the start. Ready.
Out of position 1, Watanabe. He's the one who doesn't have a world ranking coming into this one, but he is a pretty experienced skater. And he is leading the way. Donchev in second. And if I remember, Donchev came agonizingly close to advancing straight into the session this afternoon.
Watanabe now going a little bit more on the defensive. You can see him more in the middle, track down the straightaway, trying to protect from inside and outside moves.
Donchev looking on the outside. Is he trying to size something up? He just goes right into the back of Watanabe. We do lose a skater. It was Komarichki. Watanabe does hang on. A 42.07 for Donchev. Wareham in third, but Donchev just couldn't find that opening. So just looking. Donchev with a 42.048 adjusted time, and that is the fastest one we've seen so far, but still plenty more racing to come.
Watanabe here, off to a great start. Really nice speed track. You can see how wide he's going, 2 crossovers in, building that speed. And then once we got to about 2 laps to go, going more defensive, you see him more in the middle. Donchev setting up wide, looking to try to make something happen. He looks for the inside going into the last corner, but the door is not open.
Donchev just turned 20 years old back in December, speaks 5 languages. Just drop him in most of anywhere in the world and he'll fit right in. But good skate there by the young man from Bulgaria. Watanabe does go through. Donchev's time now sits on top of the pile, but remember, just 2 fastest and second place skaters. Number 4, Tracy Lujanchwo, Lucas Koo, Dennis Nikisha, and Ole Hyundai.
All right.
Wow. A repechage quarterfinal packed with horsepower.
Well, this is interesting. Dennis Nikisha, trademark, blistering fast start, but out in position number 4. So he'll have some work to do, but it's possible. If he can get that quick start, can he win that first corner?
If he's going to get another world championship medal, it will be via the long way. Tracy, very good skater on the front. 1,000 more his specialty. Hyundai, as we've seen all weekend, every time we've watched him, just always making the moves. Koo quick, Lou quick, let's go.
Go to the start. Ready.
Quick off the line, there is Nikisha from 4th up to 2nd, and everybody is through the corner.
Up to 1st. Now Tracy returning the favor. Nikisha sets up wide. Doesn't have a response yet.
As they battle back and forth, that opens the door for everybody else. Koo, Hyundai, Lou, all still in the frame. But it is Tracy, 1.5 laps to go. Here comes Nikisha, here comes Hyundai. Tracy has his hands full with 1 lap to go. Nikisha on the outside. Oh, no. Oh my, that's a hard tumble. And it will be Ole Hyundai who takes the heat ahead of Lou. And that's another winded moment where he might get hit on the hip. Yeah, Nikisha's just trying to catch his breath. Just a crunch into the mats.
Well, this is a challenging moment for Denis Nikisha. We know he's been battling with injuries, some back problems that hopefully hasn't sparked something worse. But Nikisha there, looking for that outside pass. He was really set up well for it, but got a little tight on Niall Tracy in that corner.
Get another look at that, but yeah, it's another one of those situations where we've seen a few, probably more than I think we've had in a week. All these outside passes, that are they complete or are they not?
Well, so if we watch, Nikisha then settles in. This is the outside pass. He starts to hook it. You want to get in tight, but he comes in tight quite quickly. And he gets that arm on the right leg of Niall Tracy, which knocks Niall Tracy down.
That's just right into the midsection. Compress the rib cage and the lungs there from the looks of things. But yeah, it is a possible arm block on Nikisha.
So what's happening when you're on the outside, skaters so quickly, they know if you're outside, you're out wide, you're skating a larger corner radius. So you're going a further distance. So you're trying to complete that pass and get around as quickly as you can. And what we've seen on a few occasions this weekend so far is skaters cutting in a little bit earlier on that outside pass, trying to get tight at that apex, but doing so just a little too soon.
He's up and on his own, but yeah, that one stung. You know it's coming, but there's only so much you can do, and just you catch your breath into the mats there. He was off on his own.
We can feel that fall from up here.
And the thing is, we see it coming. You just know. Oh, here we go.
Test. Final decision. Penalty. Number 16, Kazakhstan. Advancement. Number 18, Great Britain.
And so there it is. Penalty for Nikisha.
So we'll watch the left arm of Nikisha as he comes through on the outside of the inside, making contact with the right knee. Niall Tracy.
Just watching it, we know it's coming, and it's one of those situations where if it was a movie, we'd all be theatrically shouting no, because you just know it's coming. The two of them going in, you know one of them is going to get sandwiched in there, but it's nice to see that Denis Nikisha is okay. But Hyundai qualified, and Tracy is advanced to the Repechage semifinals. Heat number 5, Brendan Corey, Conte and Felkok, Asen Gurov, Radek Fajkus, and Ernestas Czech. But that also means there is only one fastest second place on offer, and that's Ivan Donchev for the moment. Their ranking, it could be an interesting battle here between Corey and Felkok, but as soon as a skate blade goes awry somewhere and speed is dropped, it's an opportunity for any one of these skaters. The on-ice camera joining us this weekend. Didn't have it yesterday in qualifying days. We have it now.
Go to the start. Ready.
Out of position 1, Corey uses that to his advantage. A guy who we know has the endurance. The 500 might be his one drawback, his one crash on his own. That is Fajkus, but Conte Felkok, here he comes.
From chick number 86 and 117,
Good race for Gudov, sitting right behind the experienced Frenchman, but Corey has a bit of a gap. He will come up to get the belt. Felkok is coming. Corey will have to hold him off. And is this the move? Velkock just runs out of room. He has nowhere to go. A nice skate. Brendan Corey looking like he will go into the repechage semifinal.
So a well-done race by Brendan Corey, who well protected.
Well, very well skated race from Brendan Corey there. Great start from Brendan Corey, actually. I was really impressed by that. Really fast the first block, good speed track to get going. I was a little worried. I thought he went maybe a little too defensive too early, getting a little bit tighter, but he was able to keep that speed up.
Let's see, Velkock's time of 41.484, and so that is the quickest one we've seen so far today. And so, yeah, we so often talk about Brendan's 1,500 meters and 1,000 meters, but he's the fastest heat so far today with the 41.411. But Velkock is the time to beat right now, 41.484. But, you know, I like the look of Donchev. 20-year-old, see what he can do in the offseason. Results. And now the remaining 3 heats have 4 skaters each. Daniel Tiborts, Alejandro Rivero, Sean McAnuff, and Robin Dending.
He has the fastest second place time.
As I mentioned, we have there Frank Samut, the skating cameraman, getting those lovely shots. He is the best at what he does. It's just those great angles.
Go to the start. Ready.
Does everybody get through the corner? Got a little sandwiched in there, but everybody does get through, and it's Tiborts. The gap on Rivero, but is this the gap that Rivero's going to skate into and maybe try a pass? McAnuff is staying up there as Tiborts slows a little bit, perhaps. Here's Rivero, Meyershock, and McAnuff. Nowhere to go just yet, one to go. Trying to take this wire to wire. Daniel Tiborts leaves no room for anybody until the end, but no, he just hangs on.
Great execution from Tiborts here. Once he got that lead, he did a terrific job controlling his track pattern. No slips, really stable, never opened the door for anything to happen. I like the way that he entered that last lap of those corner entries. A little bit of a deep track pattern there. Make sure that there was no one be able to wind up. Just that shift over.
Wire-to-wire win. Tiborts, and the time will not be enough for 42.177. So Quentin Velkock still on the hot seat. So we have 2 heats still to come. There's heat 6, heat 7 already out on the ice. Michał Niewinski, Leonard Lysans, Dennis Ors, and Peter Murphy. So Niewinski certainly one to watch, as well as Ors, 2 guys who just have top-end speeds. Most people envy.
Go to the start. Ready.
What a start from Lysans, first to the block. Niewinski, though, looking up the inside, followed closely by Ors. Lysans gets bumped out.
Ors just squeezes through, and it will be up to them to review if that was done properly, but it is Niewinski and Ors. Niewinski
with 2 laps to go.
think was on the podium in World Tour this year. But he has been elite. He loses it a little bit coming out of the corner, but Orr's not able to pounce. Maybe it is now as Orr's revs it up on the outside. But Niewinski, one of the taller guys, just tough to pass, is Michał Niewinski.
Well, watch for the review there. Michał Niewinski really coming back on the heels, losing a lot of speed. That was an opportunity for Denis Orr. I think he missed that window, just wasn't expecting that slip. Look at that start from Lysans, though, just blasted off the line. And here we're going to watch the contact as Denis Orr tries to follow closely in behind Michał Niewinski. Lysans trying to get back into the track right here.
And so it was cleared in the end. Lysans was on the outside trying to come back in and just sort of took the bump and drifted. Was sort of rolling. So no penalty. But Orr's 42.296 is not enough. And so Conte Falcock has one more heat to wait through to see if his second place time holds up. It's a very quick turnaround. We'll have the women's repechage semis in the 1,000 meters. That's 2 races. And then the men in the 500 repechage semis. And then one final break to come, and then we have mixed relay semifinals. Here is heat number 8, Adil Galiak-Matov, Tobias Wolf, Lucas McDonald, and Etienne Bastier. Interesting prospect here. Wolf, McDonald, Bastier, all ranked in the 60s in the world ranking, but Galiak-Matov, a very experienced skater, unranked, as it's a race he has not done extensively in the last while.
Go to the start. Ready.
A couple of years removed from his last World Cup medal, last medal on tour individually. But his success has been in the 1,000 meters, but here he is off the front in the 500. Wobbles, able to keep it up. But that just benefits Galiak-Matov more as he sort of held up the other 2 guys behind him. And both up the inside. We'll get reviewed. Galiak-Matov able to skirt off into the distance. And Wolf goes down. Will be in the end. Bastier getting in second. That second place time will not be enough to unseat his teammate as that second place time advance. But there will be a review as well as Wolf lunged into the corner. We'll see determining if it's a little too late.
Well, some good back and forth between Lucas McDonald and Wolf.
So it's a possible failure to give way is what they're looking at on Wolf. We'll get another look at it here coming up.
But here's the first move by Lucas McDonald to get into that second position. Here's Wolf looking for that inside pass. But you can see the shoulders of Lucas McDonald, though, I would argue, are probably still ahead on that corner entry.
So there's always that look too. Yes, it might have been level, but was it level for just a hair second?
Yes.
That's not long enough. The reaction. Doesn't look like anything was done. It's been made official. Just Galiak-Matov moving through. Nobody advanced, no penalties. And so that is the end of the repechage quarterfinals. A very quick break before they come back out. As you see a list of who has moved on. Just Conte Falcock moving on time as Manuel Tracy was advanced. Is now time back for the women's 1,000-meter repechage, and once again, these repechages about as close as you can get to zero margin for error, because it's one moving through. You win the race, you're through, unless, of course, there are advancements. That always goes without saying, but no times, no second place, none of that. Just one spot in the semifinals. Just for the athletes going through a check of some of the ice there.
Semi-final, with the first place skater from each race qualified for quarterfinals this afternoon for the main event of this ISU CNSG Short Track World Championships 2026 here in Montreal at the Maurice Richard Arena.
So not too dissimilar from the 1,500-meter semifinals we watched on the men's side. With that 1+0 advancement, I expect a little bit more of a controlled, slower start as skaters get into this 1,000-meter, but being that it's only a 9-lap race, that pace will pick up quite quickly as we get to the midsection of it, as people are trying to reposition themselves towards the front.
Looks like there's a bit of a delay here. There's just some big scratches up on the finish line. They're just getting some water dumped into them a little bit. I'll give the thumbs up for the athletes to come out. There we go. As you can see, we just found this out. Cameron Lou did not start. She did move through for the repechage semifinals, so we can only guess what happened, but it was nice to see her skating again after her collision yesterday, but it will be 4 in this one. Malika Yermak of Kazakhstan, Hyojin Kim of Australia, Yelizaveta Sidorko of Ukraine, and Rebecca Silitse-Nemet. And interesting one in the offense, Silitse-Nemet and Kim. One spot separates them in the world rankings, and it'll be an interesting head-to-head battle if it comes down to it. Silitse-Nemet, I think we saw her taking it out and going away. Kim likes to sit and make the moves late, so we could see some contrasting styles here, Tyler.
Oh, I think so. It's a tough race to call, Gavin. I'm not going to make a prediction on this one.
Well, you don't have to worry about a time prediction, whether it
will.
No.
Go to the start. Ready.
Sidorko jumping out in front.
We have a good start in this first.
Yermak behind her and Kim. Silitse-Nemet, maybe the two skaters who would come in as the ones we would have as favorites, is now Silitse-Nemet. Kicks off one interesting race with 1,000 meters with 4 skaters here, Tyler, just that extra space. A bit of a longer race.
Stay up some energy for the final sprint of this race with Michael last around.
And it is Sidorko still leading. Still, as Tyler mentioned, just coming into this one. Nobody really worrying about time. It's all just a matter of the skaters on the ice with you. And yeah, Kim's still more than happy to just sit, ride tail gun a little bit as Silitse-Nemet working her way through. Now, this is Kim stepping out a little bit, inside 3 to go now. Hyojin Kim up into 3rd, still going on the outside. It's a long way to go around the outside. And it is Silitse-Nemet up the inside into 2nd. Just the opportunist Kim again around the outside into 2nd. 1 more to go. It is shoulder to shoulder with the Hungarian rival, Rebecca Silitse-Nemet, Hyojin Kim. That's a lot of time around the outside. Kim, is she going to make this one stick? The dash to the line. Oh, and I think it's Kim who gets it.
Well, Kim, as you mentioned, spending so much time on the outside there, Gavin, she waited a lot longer. The pace was a little bit slower, so when Sleet St. Emmett was attacking from the front, it's so much harder to complete that outside pass when skaters are going at top speed. So Kim kind of getting stuck out there for those whole 3 laps, but you know, incredible for her. She stuck with it. She didn't give up all the way through the end. We've got to look at the photo finish, but I do think Kim snuck it out there at the line.
She earned that one. Sleet St. Emmett really pushing that one. Did not make it easy. They are reviewing that finish just to make sure they got their P's and Q's in order.
So on the replay, we're watching that Hyojin Kim starting to make this outside pass attempt right here. This is where she's getting caught out, stuck on the outside, but staying with it and doing a great job watching, as we've seen so many times on the outside, not trying to pinch off too early, keeping that left arm up and clean, making sure she's not making any contact on that exit. But when you're on the outside, you're carrying more speed than the other skaters inside of you as you're completing that pass, so she's able to carry that through to the finish line.
Might have been, the finish has been cleared, and there you go, Hyojin Kim into the quarterfinals this afternoon. Made to work for it. Great battle between her, Malika Yermek, and Rebecca Sleet St. Emmett. Heat number 2 will have 5 skaters. Not on the ice just yet. Are the confirmed results. So after this, 2 men's 500 repechage semis, a flood, and then mixed team relay semis. So there you go. Annabelle Green, Tineke Dendulk, Diana Laura Vegi, Petra Venkova, and Katarina Budic in this women's 1,000-meter repechage semifinal number 2. And it's a bit unusual. Nobody is out on the ice. Like one of our on-ice officials is having a discussion off the side there. So now I imagine that is behind the delay.
And the chance to be athletes at the men's 500 meters, you have no risk before their semi-final with only 2 races for the women's 1,000 meter. The reason why we are slowing down the process here, the Montreal Arena this morning, as we have the athletes coming up on the ice for this second and last.
There we go. Skaters now out on the ice for heat number 2. Looks like everything is now in order. T's crossed, I's dotted. Always forget about Jay. Jay gets dotted too. These are my rambling thoughts, and Tyler's looking at me like I'm a crazy person. But I was just noting that Jay also gets dotted, and we always say, dot your I's
I see.
cross your
Okay,
T's.
now I see where you're going with this.
I'm having an issue with the English language, is what I'm saying. Here we go. Whistle to the line. Green, Dendulk, Vegi, Venkova, Budic, Great Britain, Belgium, Hungary, Czechia, Croatia.
Go to the start. Ready.
Plainly away.
Le départ pour cette deuxième
He had a good race earlier.
Well, in this 1,000-meter, much lower start as we talked about and kind of expected. A little bit more of a chess match, but the slower this race is at the beginning, the longer it stays slow. I feel the more it plays to the hands of Annabelle Green. She's a sprinter. She's got great top speed. She's taking advantage of the easy opportunity to get to the front of this race. You don't want to be caught back in position number 5 when the race kicks off and the speed gets going.
It is Vegi on the front, and yeah, Green slotting into second, saying, this works for me, guys. When it all kicks off, she has that speed that we know. And so now Vegi upping the tempo, seeing if she catches anyone off guard as Vankova trying to move up into third. Budic trying to wind it up on the outside. Here goes Katarina Budic of Croatia.
Around the outside.
Vankova responding, moving up ahead of Annabelle Green, but Budic still on the outside, maybe looking to tuck into second here behind Vegi, who's done a great job responding to that move from Budic.
It was a ferocious attack by Budic, getting all the way around, and just when she looked like she had first place in her sights, Vegi shut the door, and Budic had to consolidate, get back into second, and see what energy is left in reserve. It is still Vegi, one of the younger skaters in this Hungarian program, and it's another good race from her. She might hold them all off. Here comes Vegi. Budic has nothing left in the tank, and yeah, very good skate by Diana Laura Vegi of Hungary. Thumbs up indeed.
Great race from Vegi. Every time we see her step on the ice, she impresses, so she's going to be one to watch. Great to see her going through to the main event.
The offseason around the corner. We always wonder, when the new season starts, who made that breakthrough in training? Who has that step forward? And she's looking like she might be rolling into the offseason and coming back ready to go.
Well, and something new this year, the ISU is introducing some new awards for skaters, and something that they're watching for is most improved skaters of the year. So, you know, someone like Vegi could be, you know, looking at next year to take some big leaps and bounds.
Yeah, because she's really made her improvements, even at this tail end of the season, really be competitive with a lot of skaters.
And it's great for a young skater who's really looking towards this next quad to really grow and develop and be ready for the next Olympics, get some confidence here at the World Championships, so you go into that next cycle, you know, really motivated.
Skate for her, and she will move through. And so it's Kim and Vegi moving into the quarterfinals, where it's all to play for this afternoon. And still 2 races to go. They are quick, and 500 meters repechage semifinals, as those are the confirmed results. 6,000, you'll get that little graphic showing who is moving in. I just said Kim and Vegi. And here we go with the men's 500 meter semifinals. Interesting one in the offing. Brendan Corey again. We saw him out of position 1 in the last round. Use that to his advantage. He is there again, and he beat Quentin Felcock last round. And Felcock will be alongside him on the line, but also here Watanabe Keita, Ole Hyundai, and Adil Galiakmatov. I'm reading it, you'll see it come up in just a moment's time. But lots to play for in this one. Very close skaters, mix of experience. Pretty much all these guys are very experienced skaters.
And even the 500, when there's just for the victory, changes the race dynamic a little bit. You're less concerned about the time. You might skate the race a little bit more defensively. So you typically see maybe some slower times as skaters trying to adapt their track pattern to be more defensive in the later laps of the 500.
Corey, Felcock, Watanabe, Hyundai, and Galiakmatov. Australia, France, Japan, Ukraine, Kazakhstan.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Corey again rips it off the line. Another good start for the Aussie. And Watanabe spills on his own, but just, that was after the corner, and so they're not bringing this one back. Heartbreak for the Japanese skater, but it is Corey in front being stopped by the Frenchman, and then there is a gap as Hyundai and Galiakmatov were caught up behind Watanabe, and that plays to the 2 men in front.
So watching Quentin Felcock, he created a bit of a gap so he could accelerate into it, but Brendan Corey doing a terrific job defending here. Little deep track entry there, keeping Quentin Felcock tucked behind.
Here they come. Corey trying to hold them off. Corey does manage to do that, or does he? Oh my! I think Corey hung on. He's not based on his celebrations, but I think we are right above the finish line. I think he timed it right, but Quentin Felcock, he's been skating really well this weekend, and he really made that push.
It's great to see him step up this weekend and really be performing.
I think he looked up to the heavens there, knowing that it might have just been too late.
He got the leg out first, I think, but then Corey had that quick shoot just in time. I still want to see the photo finish there, but I think Brendan Corey just squeaked it out.
It comes down to timing so often on the line, and Velcock made a mighty push. And so there was a click of the blade. It was cleared, but a heartbreak early for Watanabe, because if it happens on the corner, they bring it right back again.
Yeah, Watanabe was skating through, and as he was pulling his left, it just caught the foot of Ole Honde and tripped himself afterwards.
And let's see. Yes, Corey just timing it right. Great battle with Velcock. Rolling into the offseason, Velcock must be going, okay, this is coming back, because we didn't see his best this season, I feel sometimes, but nice to see him skating here well. Number 2, Lee Kun, Miyata Shogo, Daniel Tibortz, Michał Niewinski, and Niall Tracy. I will always shake my head that this is a repechage semifinal, and these guys, man alive. Let's see if Miyata bursts off the line and keeps his personal space in this race like he did in the last one. A lot of talent won't be making it to the quarterfinals this afternoon, but it is a good start by Lee Kun with Miyata behind him. Tracy on Niewinski, and it's Niewinski who gets ahead of Miyata, but Tracy gets shuffled to the back. We are inside, 2 to go. Niewinski. Oh, Tracy goes down hard on his own. He is up and he looks okay though. But it is Lee holding them off for now, but now Niewinski comes. And he gets it on the inside. Here comes Miyata. Miyata savvy at the line. Lee went down. But just when I thought Michał Niewinski might have had it, there was that coming together, and Miyata Shogo, I thought might have been too far back, but just jumped in, took his moment.
Well, Michał Niewinski went for that inside pass. He knew he had to go for it if he wanted to go through and continue on in this World Championships in the 500 meters, so he sent it up the inside. Lee Kun doing everything good to defend that position, but neither of those skaters able to get any speed or build out of that corner exit, so Miyata Shogo is able to capitalize on that contact and jump up the inside.
It's the early move with Tracy initiating, but Niewinski benefiting up into second.
Michał Niewinski trying to take advantage of his size here and his strength. He's so strong. Lee Kun trying to hold his position, getting that arm out.
And you always look as maybe there's an arm block, but did also Niewinski maybe make the pass too late? And then also, if it's both of them, maybe shared responsibility. And so if it is a failure to give way on Niewinski, it would be an advancement position for Lee Kun. But we do know Miyata crossed the line first, and I don't think is being reviewed. And so he will, well, go find a way to ice the bruises a little bit. And then be ready for the quarterfinals this afternoon. But again, even as a repechage session, our on-ice officials have been made to work. Lots for them to review so far today. And to the ice we go.
Final decision. Final decision. Penalty number 11 from Poland. Advancement number 66 from China.
There you go. So Niewinski is penalized. Lee Kun is advanced, and I think there's a shake of the head, but it is just, I think Niewinski, when you leave it too late, failure to give way.
Just watching this straight away. Lee Kun still ahead. Just trying to jump up and force his way through on that entry. And that's the failure to give way on that pass from Michał Niewinski.
there you go. So Miyata and Lee going through. They'll join Brendan Corey in the quarterfinals this afternoon. And now it is time for a nice resurfacing break, the last of the morning. And on the other side, it will be the afternoon officially. And it's mixed team relay semifinals coming up in about 13 minutes from now.
Ce sera confirmé dans les prochains instants. On reviendra avec le relais mixte de 2000 mètres. On revient à l'action à l'heure prévue, soit midi 6, donc encore une fois pour les bénévoles athlètes.
Stage announcement. Test, test, stage announcement. Test.
So we will be back in action at 12:06 to 12:06. We will be back in action with the mixed relay. Petit avertissement à tous, nous avons effectué un test pour l'équipe nationale, donc ne soyez pas surpris si jamais il y a some vidéo. So we will run a short test for the national anthem, so don't be surprised if there is any music or video for this test.
Stage announcements. Stage announcement.
Un, deux. Hey, oh. Ah, ouais, c'est ça, l'espèce de délai. Oh, Canada. OK. Oh, Canada. Hey, hey. Comment je pourrais... Je vais m'y faire. Un, deux. Oh, Canada, terre de nos aïeux. Ça va aller.
dans quelques instants, près d'être de retour en piste avec les épreuves de demi-finale sur relais mixte. On aura 2 vagues. Les 4 équipes, où les 2 premières équipes se verront pour une place parmi la
Final block racing on this morning repechage session. A big shift in gears, relay time, mixed relay time. 2 heats in the semis. And the top 2 teams go to the A final, 3rd and 4th to the B final.
teams from each race qualifying for final B.
Gavin, I always love the mixed relay. I just love how aggressive it is right from the start, right into the thick of the action. The speed comes right off the gun. Everybody's trying to position themselves towards the front. You have no time to waste, always looking for opportunities to pass and better your position. And some big semifinals coming up here.
Looks like the just finishing up the mats and putting some of the mat covers on, and now the teams are on the ice. And yeah, some big ones, as Tyler mentioned. Heat number 1, the Netherlands, China, Italy, and Belgium. Olympic gold medalists in the mixed relay, Olympic bronze medalists in the relay, and then the Dutch team, who maybe have a bit of chip on their shoulder after not getting on the podium in the mixed relay.
However, in the final, they went and skated the world record in the mixed relay just to make amends for having not made it.
I'm sure there was a big stare down going off the ice. Like, yeah, next time. So just seeing who we have: Siegel, Pietro, Thomas Natalini, Chiara Betti, and Ariana Siegel. And on the Dutch side, I see Sandra Velzeboer, Michelle Velzeboer, Toon Boer, I believe, and Jens van het Vout. Belgium has the Desmets, as they usually do, Hanna and Stan Tineke Dendal and Ward Petre. I see Gongli on China's team, Jung Bo Hao.
The Winter Olympic Games.
And there's Zheng Chutong and Wang Xingruan. Sorry, it wasn't Gongli, it was Li Yuheng.
Go to the start. Ready.
And
Oh,
we have a false start.
I thought I might have seen a flinch from Michelle Velzeboer,
I
but
thought I saw the same thing.
is that what you saw as
That is
well?
what I saw too, and often it's close, but let's see. Oh boy, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
You thought she was almost in unison.
And of course, we've seen at times that they call the race back, no false starts awarded. Could have been a sound, could have been a flash, something that may have triggered the athletes, and the starters are very aware of that. But we see them discussing here at the start line. They're also watching the toe of the blades. Are blades touching the line? That is also a penalty. You can't have that blade cross the start line.
No rule violation.
There you go.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there was a big discussion. The starters saying no rule
Go
violation.
to the start.
And we're back, and we'll let the athletes decide things.
Ready.
This time, Michelle Velzeboer up the inside. Chiara Betti, Hanna Desmet.
Michelle Velzeboer, Sandra Velzeboer, Jens van Gaal,
Chutong on the front right now.
And most of the skaters, this is the first time that we're seeing them today. It's a great opportunity for them to get in touch with the ice before we hit the afternoon session.
Sandra Velzeboer, Wang Xingruan, Ariana Siegel, and Dendalk up the inside into third.
Great move from Tineke Dendalk to get that third position for the Belgian team here. The Siegel looking to respond, taking it right back.
It is Sandra Velzeboer opening up a bit of a gap. as the men tag in for Li Yuhang. Thomas Natalini, as we always know, just keep either Stan de Smet or Pietro Segal close, and they will give your team a chance as it's really compressed. Now Lee now for the lead, and Jung Bo Hao paying attention, getting in front of Jens van den Vout in time for this exchange here.
He's got to start Pietro Segal off track. Stein de Smet for Team Belgium.
And it is anyone's race right now. Jung Bo Hao up the inside goes Jens van den Vout for the lead.
Well, Jens van den Vout, his inside passes are absolutely spectacular. They're right on point all weekend long, handing off to Michel Velzeboer.
Chiarabetti on the exchange there took a look up the inside but didn't go for it in the end. Michel Velzeboer in the lead. The second time around, everybody gets 2 laps. So it's quick. Here we go. Betty up the inside. Where is Segal? Nice job paying attention there on the exchange.
Cassandra Velzeboer is such a weapon for the Dutch team. Already, look at the separation she's creating. 2 crossovers in, just increasing that gap, dropping the pace down. 8.6 second lap time, furthering the lead for the Dutch team as they enter the last 4 laps.
Segal under pressure, Lee for second. Ahead of Natalini, but Natalini, as we know, can come right back in a hurry. And there he is taking a look up the inside.
Oh,
they're shoulder to shoulder. Natalini and Lee down. One final exchange, and it's really just a victory lap for Jens van den Vout. 2 victory laps provided they can all stay in contact. Stan de Smet, also a drama-free environment for him largely. And Jens van den Vout will cross, de Smet in second, and Segal will still finish, as will Jung. And then we will see how that plays out. Some early drama on this one.
Well, that was a heated corner entry between Thomas Natalini and Li Yuhang. Neither skater wanting to relinquish that second place position as Natalini was trying to go up the inside, but Li Yuhang not giving up an inch as they went down that straightaway. So we're gonna have to see this.
Possible lane change outside to in is what they're looking at. And then as it was top 2, it would mean an advancement for Italy, which would mean a very packed A final, but we'll get the looks. They get all the angles first down in the review room before we get all of them. But one thing we do know, the Dutch side looking very much on form.
This was an earlier pass from Li Yuhang.
This was it here, and so always look for the double pivot. Could it be 2 guys going for the same space?
It's not the best angle, but you can really see Lee shifting across from the right to the left. So I do think we're likely to see a penalty from that movement down the straightaway by Lee. Hopefully we get that front-on angle review coming up here.
They always get it first.
Yeah, they saved the good stuff for themselves, and we get it last.
Final decision, penalty for Team People's Republic of China and advancement to Team Italy.
Well, they heard you. Well, I don't think they heard you. Although it would have created some tension if you said, I think there's going to be a penalty, and then there isn't.
Watch Lee here. Watch how wide he is. He senses Natalini. Look at that aggressive shift across, right? It's that really quick right to left movement, making that contact with Natalini.
So it will be a very stacked A final and a diminished B final. Wait, could we just have 2 teams in the B final? Yes, we could. We could also have fewer teams than that. Heat number 2 as the defending world champions, the Canadians. Polish side, Korea, and France. See Canada going with Stephen Dubois, Felix Roussel, Courtney Sereau, and Danae Blais. Natalia Malashevska will start things off for Poland. Berenice Cambi for France. And Lee So-yun for Korea. Korea going really heavy. Hwang Dae-han, Im Jung-un, and Kim Gil-lee
Go to the start. Ready.
Malashevska, Nicola Mazur, Felix Pigeon, and Łukasz Kuczynski, and they don't get around the corner, so
Lee So-Yun and Beatrice Combi there going shoulder to shoulder on that contact. Both skaters quickly rushing over to see their equipment managers and coaches and get their blades checked out.
Berenice Combi, and her skates looked at. She doesn't turn 20 until May. World Junior silver medal in the 500 meters back in 2024. Made her World Tour debut in 2025. Yeah, just like in the 500 or any event really, if they don't make it through the corner, just clicks of the blades and such, they bring it back.
And if you haven't watched short track in a while, the rule used to be that it would only get called back once it was up to the apex. A few years ago, they changed the rule so that it was up to the 7th block, which is the last block of the first corner in case there's contact.
She's getting a second look. Skate Tech on the Italian side there. This French side does a lot of their training alongside the Italians in Bormio. So sharing of resources a little bit. Also, always good to train with other elite competitors, and the French and Italian skaters often on social media, picturing with each other, very close friends off the ice as well. We'll see how take two goes. Siro, Malashevska, Lee, and Combi.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Combi jumps up into third, and everybody does get through this time. It is Siro in front, Malashevska, Combi, and Lee. 2.5 laps before the first exchange. It will be Danae Blais, Nicolas Mazur, Chloé Olivier, and Kim Gilly. Saw Olivier warming up for this one. She had her shoulder wrapped up. She was in a sandwich crunch into the mats yesterday, but she is back and ready to go. Everybody through the first exchange just fine.
Mazur taking a look up the inside. It's not there. Danae Blais holding her off.
Felix Roussel, Łukasz Kuczynski. It is Im Jong-un first, and Etienne Bastier for France. And there is the move, Kuczynski on Roussel, and he is able to hold it. Great move by Poland.
Im Jong-un really wide outside there, looking for an opportunity. Nothing presenting itself yet.
Kuczynski defending that inside line, and it's Pigeon, Dubois, Huang Dai-Han, and Quentin Felcock, and there's Felcock on the move for third.
Now Dubois jumping up the inside, regaining the lead for Team Canada.
Passing all over the ice, second time around for the women coming up. Siro, Malashevska, Combi, and Lee. Anybody's race right now. Combi feeling it into second.
Great move up the inside from Combi, but was that Lee So-Yun goes down. Kim Gilly tagging up.
Kim there, as Tyler mentioned, to tag up. And a great opportunity for France or Poland here to get into an A final.
Well, this creates some separation from the Canadians, but the French team is charging. Chloé Olivier closing this gap down.
Olivier closing in on Danae Blais, Bastier, and Roussel, but don't count out Kuczynski for Poland.
Real speed trap from Felix Roussel, just really far out wide.
One more exchange to come. Dubois, and he will have Quentin Felcock, who is in a rich vein of form right now. Felcock looking like the man we know, but Pigeon is applying the pressure. Instead on second, Felcock now trying to defend, and in he goes to the max. And that will get a review, but Dubois will take the Canadians to the A final, and Pigeon will cross in second. And in the end, it is the Korean side, Huang Dai-Han, getting up for third. And I'm not sure, did B tag in for Felcock. And there's always that confusion in the mixed relay on who should tag in. Whoa. Wow. But that move with Pigeon, so one of those situations, Pigeon was coming. He was right all over the back of Felcock, and I'm wondering if Felcock just tried to defend and hope for a bump. I'm not sure, but that's for them to decide. But what a race.
Well, certainly a bit later of a pass attempt from Pigeon on Quentin Furcock. We got to look back, get the replay, try to watch the track pattern of Quentin Furcock. Was an aggressive shift outside to in, but it felt a little bit later to me. So I did feel that Quentin Furcock still had that lead position at the time of that pass attempt from Felix Pigeon.
It would be a possible failure to give way is what they're looking at, but
well, early in this race, great pass from Quentin Furcock to get up Huang Daon to move the French team into third. Here's that move from Beatrice Combi, making it stick, and that's when the Korean team goes down. Here's a look again.
Now is Pigeon through is the big question, or was he through too late? So it's a possible failure to give way. As I mentioned, they get that angle before we do. All the drama going on.
Thibaut Fauconnet, the French coach.
You look down at Marc Gagnon, though, just delicately clapping his hands as it was drama-free largely for the Canadians.
Well, that's just the advantage of when you can get out front and you can get clear some of that drama.
For an announcement, but perhaps not, because they are going back there to double check things.
Well, if there's a possible advancement here in a penalty to Poland, we could see 6 teams.
Gulp.
In the A final, which would just be an outright. There would be no B final.
There would be no B final. And it's always a possibility, but it's something I don't think we've seen B finals with 2 skaters before. Earlier this year, there was...
Well, both teams are penalized, though, so
right.
They won't continue.
There would be no B final. Exactly. But yeah, I just remember the B final this year between Natalini and Kreuzberg's head-to-head. And that was a fun weekend in fun race in Gdansk. But yeah, if there's 2 penalties, there is no B final. So you could go down claim victory.
Well, we're all waiting anxiously alongside the coaches at the side of the ice, waiting for the official decision.
Either way, someone will be happy, others may not be happy, but again, I respect so much the officials who choose to do that, because so much rides on this. And I do not have the constitution to stand up to that kind of scrutiny. Here we go.
Final decision, penalty 14 Poland, and 10 penalty 14 France.
And so there is the penalty. Oh goodness, the French got a penalty for one skater missing their transponder. So of all things.
Okay. So this was the penalty on that inside. Failure to give way, pass attempt from Felix Pigeon, just too late trying to make it happen. However, the transponder missing. So if you weren't familiar with transponders, prior to the race, all the skaters are given transponders. They have to wear them on the ankles. That's how they track them lap times on the ice. And it's a required piece of the equipment, which if you're missing, is a penalty. And we see that sometimes in long track and in short track as well here.
So some embarrassment, a little bit. Whoops. It happens. We are all human, but unfortunate for the French this time, as it could have been an opportunity in an A final. But if there's something to take from that, is they are looking pretty good heading into the offseason. It will be fun to see how they continue building into the new year. And so there's a look. It's still 5 teams in the A final, which will be, well, chaotic in a word, I suppose. But that ends the morning repechage session. We'll be back. Racing resumes in just over an hour's time. There's a bit of an opening ceremony in advance of that, but racing resumes at 1:35 p.m. local time. That is an hour and 9 minutes from now. So we will catch a break, catch some lunch, and wherever you are watching from around the world, we will hope to catch up with you for the medal rounds on the ISU Short Track World Championships. We are just getting started in Montreal. On behalf of Tyler Dare and the entire crew here putting this together, my name is Gavin Day. Speak to you in just a little bit.